It's that time of year again. Santa is getting ready to make his big trip around the world. Now, for most people, St. Nick is a symbol of kindness and good tidings, the bringer of presents and cheer. But since I was a kid, the thing Santa brought me most was questions. Most importantly, how exactly does he do it? How fast does he travel? How heavy are all those presents? How many cookies can one man eat? These are not easy questions. So we got in touch with Don Lincoln, one of the world's leading physicists. And together, we're going to get you answers. Question 1. How fast is Santa's sleigh? This is the question that has been bugging me ever since I got my very first present from Santa. I mean, if I want to visit my aunt across Canada, it would take me over 6 hours just to fly there. So how could Santa possibly get all the way around the world in one night? Well, the first thing to remember is that it's not night everywhere at the same time. Santa can be delivering presents in Australia while Canadians are just waking up on Christmas Eve. That means Santa actually has a full day and a half to deliver presents, which helps a lot.
If he spends more than 1,000th to the second in any one house, that uses up his time budget. So Santa cannot dwell. He doesn't fart around. He does his business and he gets on to the next house.
Don also says Santa will have to travel somewhere between 200 and 1,000 kilometers every second. In other words, crazy fast.
If you look at the speed of a meteor is traveling at, say, 10 to 70 kilometers per second. So in order for Santa to do this, he's going to be having to travel faster than a meteor.
Now, think about what happens when a meteor hits Earth's atmosphere. Whoosh! As you can imagine, Santa would like to avoid that. Luckily, Don has an idea for how Santa avoids burning up.
That whole nose Rudolph's getting red, it's just because it's so hot. It absorbs all the heat and deflects it away from Santa. I mean, I'm convinced that's what happens.
And hey, if we can build those heat shields into our rocket ships, who says Santa can't do the same for a reindeer? Now, question 2, how much do all those presents weigh? Because moving fast is one thing, but have you ever had to run down the street with a heavy backpack on? Now, imagine your backpack is a sack full of billions of presents. Yikes. So let's say everyone who celebrates Christmas gets a couple gifts from Santa. Turns out that adds up fast.
So you do the math, and that turns out to be something like 30 million tons. So it's an enormous mass. It is about half the mass of the Great Pyramid at Giza.
Imagine trying to load 6 million elephants onto a plane and still being able to take off. I mean, those are some strong reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh. And Don had one other scientific insight to share.
What I've determined also is that Santa must have a very, very stretchy bag that's very strong in order to squish all those things so that it can fit in the sleigh.
Now, of course, as Santa travels around the world, he's dropping off presents. So the sleigh should be getting lighter. But then again, thanks to another Christmas tradition, Santa himself is getting heavier. Which is question 3. How does Santa eat so much? Now, it's no question that Santa is very generous. But as a thank you, we do give him something back, some delicious milk and cookies. But when you're visiting millions of homes, that's a lot of cookies.
And it turns out to be something in the ballpark of 20 billion calories, which you think you put on weight for the Christmas holidays. I can't even imagine Santa. That turns out to be equivalent to about the 43,000 full tanks of gas. Incredible amount of energy.
That's about 10 million times the recommended number of calories for the average adult. It's so much energy that it actually makes more sense to compare it to rocket fuel than to food. If you burned all those cookies, you would get more energy than it took to get Neil Armstrong to the moon on a rocket ship. But still, when a cookie looks particularly delicious, I'm sure Santa will have a nibble. So to wrap up, several minutes, a lot of assumptions, and some clever math later, we've got our answer. Santa is very fast, very strong, and very hungry. With his reindeer, he can do things that no other person could do. So whether it's super advanced technology or some good old-fashioned Christmas magic, let's be thankful that he's up there, racing around the world, so we can all stay nestled, all snug in our beds. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us at CBC.